would you consider waiting to see if they do something with the IMAX?
No, because I need
Or
a portable device.
no, I know, not you, but I mean like me.
Oh, you. Um,
Or would you go with the 14?
well, if you're okay with if you have a good monitor with a webcam built into it, or then really, what does it matter? At that point, I mean, I think a 27-inch would be too expensive for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna. I think right now, knowing how expensive the Macs are now with the 24s, yeah, I think you're gonna get a little bit of a hit. I don't know, and it might be worth it for $2,000 and the portability feature built into it, just to get a you don't, and you need the smallest Pro. The only thing you need to do is decide on the storage, but you need the smallest
So you would
Pro.
say the 14-inch.
Yes,
Go with the 14-inch, and I was thinking 512.
yeah, yeah, that would be. I think that's perfect for you. The space is the only thing you have to be concerned with.
Yeah, and then like I have
Everything else that's
external.
in that thing, it doesn't matter, and you can use an external monitor.
Well, I mean, I don't have an external monitor. I mean,
You get a
what's wrong with?
TV. I mean, you
But I
got an
mean,
H.
what's wrong with the screen on the 14-inch?
Nothing, but if you want that wider, if you want that big screen
Oh,
experience, that's what I'm
I see.
talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah. Oh, well, I can always do AirPlay.
That you could. There's a lag in that, but sure, you could do that. In fact, that 512 is the starting storage price, so really, you're paying $2,000 for that laptop, and then whatever how much you could buy a cheap TV, if you want, like I said, if you want that super
Yeah.
display experience. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, and right now, I think looking at Macs now, I'm looking at the price of an iMac. Let's see here. If you want something pretty comparable, I mean, none of them are comparable. I mean, it's 24-inch. I mean, it's a pretty decent size. But I mean, if Apple should go to 30 at this point. I don't think 27 at 3 inches is going to make or break people from buying it unless it has the chip inside, which is the big thing. So
Yeah.
like right now, it's 16.99 for a 512 storage with an M1 chip iMac.
In
So
But that's only in the 21.
no, oh, it's 24 now. Remember that. It's not 21-inch anymore. It's 24.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, 24. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So think about it. Obviously the Pro I think is and the superb. I cannot wait to get it. It's gonna be a few weeks before I get it, but I will definitely be up here talking about it. I can't wait for that. Unfortunately, with the 13 Pro, the 13, I won't have a wedding for at least another month before I get the phone, so I really can't say how it's gonna work in my work environment. I already seen it in action right now with my sister having it. It looks great, but I want to
Well,
see it when I actually have to film stuff. That to
well,
me
listen,
is
listen. My grandson's been playing football. I've been in the stands filming plays that he's in on,
mm-hmm.
and I mean, I can't believe how sharp. Now I'm all the way up in the stands and zoom in
And using a
and
12, everybody. Remember
using
that.
the 12, and it's 12 Pro, but it is crystal clear. I mean, I can only imagine what the 13 is, you know.
Yeah, I'm
So
looking forward to it. I'm really excited to use it.
yeah,
So that's our personal story. A lot of stuff happened while we were gone, so we're all getting it out right now. But today, we were going to talk about Black Friday because that was a big, I like to find some stuff on the web that could really help you guys out. But Apple made a breaking announcement today that really has boggled the minds of every genius that works at an Apple store right now.
yeah,
And it makes guys like Louis Rossman, who's been begging this for years, finally kind of giving a happy pat on the back to Apple. But what's going to happen is Apple is going to allow parts, tools, and manuals starting with the iPhone 12 and 13 to be available to individual consumers. That's right. That means that you are allowed to now repair your own devices in your home. Now,
yeah. This is.
let's
I
get some
mean,
back. Let's get some backstory to it. There's a lot of things going on in Congress right now about rights of repair. It's very well known that there's a movement happening that is backed up by the president and that I think is going to pass at some point. That includes Xboxes, PlayStations. But here's what I think is amazing about this. Even though people don't even though they don't want people going into these devices and repairing them, think how much money they're going to make extra off this, too. Like, you don't, like, they just
Well, you mean selling the tools and the parts?
they selling the tools, the parts. They don't have to have as much labor anymore because of that, which saves them money.
Well, see, I disagree with that.
All right, that's fine. I'm just telling you from how I think they will benefit from it. Now, do I think it's right? Well, we're going to talk about it. So let's talk about. We're going to actually go through the entire thing. So on your screen right now is exactly what this repair is about. So we're going to go through it, and we'll stop in between and talk. So today, Apple announced self-service repair, which will allow customers who are comfortable with completing their own repairs access to Apple genuine parts and tools. First available for the 12 and the 13 lineup, soon to be followed by Mac computers featuring M1 chips. Self-service repair will be available early next year in the U.S. and expand to additional countries through 2022. Customers join more than 5,000 Apple authorized service providers and 2,800. Wow. Let me do that again. Customers join about 5,000 and 2,800 independent repair providers who have access to these tools, parts, and manuals. The initial phase of the program will focus on the most commonly serviced modules such as display, battery, camera. The ability for additional repairs will be available next year. There's a couple things about this that were brought up, and I watched a couple videos today. And of course I was very curious what Louis Rossmann had to say, because he's obviously been the active, he's been like the anti-Apple guy on repair forever. One thing he brought up was that these 2,800 repair shops, like one of the things he said, reason why he didn't join it when he found out was they are actually, Apple, what they do is that you have to, if someone comes in with a broken display, they have to order the display based on that means they can't leave the phone that day. They have to order it, wait for it to come to them. They don't have them in stock just to start putting them together. Also, Apple audits them and makes sure that if there's any other business practice that they're doing that's against their rules, they are automatically out of the program. So they really are confined to what Apple tells them to do.
Oh, well, all right, so
that's independent shop. That means they can't order, like maybe they can't order boards from certain manufacturers or something like that.
So do you consider that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, Lewis is a perfect example where he gets those parts, and he's probably not supposed to be getting those parts.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So he's getting, because when he mentioned in the video, he mentioned, I'm not explaining how I get them. Well, that means you're doing something shady,
right.
Right. And that's the honest truth. Or he has a connection in house that's getting him these parts that he's not supposed to have, that probably other independent shops don't get.
Now, my position on this is very simple. One, if you have the wherewithal, the knowledge, and you want to try to repair your device yourself, okay.
That's me. I could do it.
Well, yes, because you've had the training and stuff like that.
Right.
However,
and Apple, by the way, Apple does say who are comfortable in completing. So they're not saying that they're not saying this is for everybody.
Right.
Let's get that straight. They're not saying, oh, if you have no experience, you should do this.
Right.
You need to have technical experience to know how to do this.
Because what's going to happen? They're gonna buy the tools. They're gonna
Right.
get the parts. They're gonna take it apart, and then it's going to be all fucked up.
Right.
Okay.
All you need is a thermal event to happen with a battery.
And then what do they do? Now they're going to take it back to Apple, and Apple's going to go, "Hey, dude, you opened it. You took that on yourself. There's nothing we can do now."
Well, we don't know the rules yet, so
that's true. But
right.
but prior to this, anytime somebody took their phone or device to a third-party vendor, then Apple would be hands off.
Right.
Now, for me, I think the average consumer, most of them buy the Apple Protection Plan.
Absolutely. Which right away, you should not be doing this if you have an Apple Care Protection Plan.
Right.
Because to me, you're paying a premium for that.
Yes.
So why would you do that?
The Apple Protection Plan covers 2 to 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
2 years on the phone.
3 3 years on a Mac, because remember, Macs are going to be part of this.
Right. So if you factor the price of that per day and come up with a number, because it's like $249 for the phone for 2 years, that covers loss and theft.
If you do loss.
Right. And then if you divide that by the 2 years, you come up with a price per day, right? Now you're going to say, well, you know what? I'm going to try to repair this. Why would you do that for dollars on the day?
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And run the risk of it not working when all you need to do is take it, either mail it in. You saw how you just showed us how fast you got the box for you to send your equipment back. It's a simple process. And from a consumer point of view, if I give that to Apple to fix and I have a problem with it, I just go back to Apple.
Right.
That was
a point. That was a point I was about to make. Was exactly that.
I mean, I've always considered that a benefit. It's like, yeah, you could take it to the mall and have them repair the screen. I have a perfect example. When I bought my first Mac, Quaker Ridge was not here at the time, so I took it to an authorized service dealer in Princeton, and he charged me $150. Now, I was new to Mac, and I didn't really read the contract and stuff, where I should not have paid him anything because that was covered under the Apple Protection Plan. So to me, a lot of these service providers, these third-party service providers, are going to use this as another means to charge somebody, the unbeknownst consumer, a fee for looking at the product and saying, oh, it's going to cost you this, and the rest of the parts are going to be covered. So they're actually double dipping. I was at several phone carriers, and their people there were telling people that had problems with the phone, oh, it's going to cost you this for us to take a look at it and this and that. And they left, and I went outside. And I told them, I said, hey, take your phone to the Apple store. It'll never cost you anything to have them diagnose the phone.
Right.
And then they'll tell you what you need to do from there and whether or not it's going to cost you any money.
Now,
So I would prefer taking it to an Apple store or sending it into Apple.
Mm-hmm. If you mess up your own repair, the only person that can be responsible is yourself. So that's the point you're making with that.
Right.
Let's get back to a little bit more of the article. To ensure customer can safely perform the repair, it's important they review the repair manual. Then a customer will place an order for an Apple Genuine parts using the Apple Self-Service Repair Online Store. Ooh, another online store. Following the repair, customers who use their used part for recycling will receive a credit towards their purchase. The new store will offer more than 200 individual parts and tools, enabling customers to complete the most common repairs of an iPhone 12 and 13. The self-service repair is intended for individual technicians with the knowledge and the experience to repair electronic devices. For the vast majority of customers, visiting a professional repair provider with certified technicians who use genuine Apple parts is the safest and most reliable way to get a repair.
So even in there, someone has to diagnose the device and then go to the store and order the part. So
I don't know. No, you could do it online.
Yes, but you're still going to have to wait for the part.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, the other argument is that you're not going to be able to repair other things like screens, batteries, and cameras. But what about charging ports? What about the motherboard?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to let people repair a motherboard. I don't see that happen. I don't think they're going to let them do the charging port. Whatever Apple does in the store is what they're going to do at home. And another thing that, again, that guy Lewis, man, is a little shady on this, but I believe he's right, that Apple is not going to let him repair a motherboard. They're not going to let him repair the charging port. They're not going to let him repair the USB-C. Maybe the USB-C, depending. But things like remember the M1s now have the battery removal option. The batteries can be removed. The tabs are there for the battery to come out, which thank God Apple allowed that. So I think they prepped these Pros for this exact reason, because they're saying M1's repairs. I think that includes iMacs too. So that means they got a VHB. They got to take the VHB off the iMac, which is going to be a whole other weird thing. But we don't know what Macs are going to be on there. They did say Macs. They didn't say which ones.
Yeah.
But so think about it. They're going to have the tools. So you think about what you got to buy. You got to have to buy the mat, because you have to be on a safety mat.
Right.
You know, you have to put the electrostatic on your arm to make sure you don't fry the freaking board. That part alone is going to cost you money. Plus all the little tools you can buy, which by the way, you can buy ones from iFixit and all that. But, you know, if you don't use their genuine tools, they're probably going to say something about it, or they'll probably know, which I don't know how they would know that. But again, and the most important thing is that vast majority of customers visiting a professional repair provider with certified technicians who use genuine Apple part is the safest and most reliable way to get a repair. That is number one. But think of someone like me. If family wanted me to repair their phones, I could now. I can make a little money on the side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
That's true.
So Frank Funk, I'm gonna wait for the day that Frank is like, the Apple Store didn't have a display. Will, can you do the display for me? So, but this is so that is a little bit of the article. There's more to it, but honestly, you can go read that. None of it's really
this
important.
is groundbreaking, to say the least.
It is. Yeah, there's a bomb. And by the way, they're also going to give credit back, by the way, towards their purchase. So that means that you're recycling. You're not just throwing away the old one. You're going to let it go back, and you'll probably get like a credit toward, which is nice.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
But I don't think it's. I could be wrong, you know. But I don't think that this is going to benefit your average consumer. I think this is going to benefit.
And it doesn't say it will. By the way.
Yeah.
You know. That's not what this is for. Or if you have Apple Care, you definitely don't want to do this. There's no. Yeah. I would never repair my own. Maybe I could do the battery, just for convenience, because you know it's a work device. And I want to be without the device for like 3 to 5 business days. If they could send me the battery, I would absolutely do it. Yeah. No doubt about it. You know, I probably would still go to the Apple Store to get diagnostics done, even though we have it on Macs now. They have a little bit better diagnostic.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be a double-edged sword. It's going to be a niche audience.
Yes.
And I think there's going to be, you know, people like yourself who view this as, hey, maybe I can make a little cottage industry. And, you know, I mean, you know, you're already have a videography job. You have your normal job. Now you're going to have another job. Then you might as well take up law, because you're going to need a divorce attorney.
Oh, you hear that, Tara? So I wanted to show a couple of the responses from the community, just so you could see what people said. Fixit says it's a joint responsibility, and for the last few decades, too many manufacturers have been shirking. What the heck does that say?
Shirking, yes, you're
shirking
right.
Theirs. They stopped selling parts. They sent lawyers after the folks like Tim Hicks, an Australian kid who just wanted to share repair manuals with his friends. Apple's announcement may have seemed like a small thing, but they're going to publish free manuals and sell parts to customers. But it is a total shift in perspective. It is an agreement that this is a partnership. We're on the Starship Earth together, cruising through the universe together.
Oh, that sounds like a load of bullshit to me.
And the Right to Repair Coalition says, big cave by Apple, but the devil is in the details. This is far off the requirements of the right to repair, but proves that legislators, whoa, where are we going? Proves that legislators, I lost it now. Proves that legislators are on the right track of making similar requirements more broadly.
Yeah.
And then the U.S. PRIG, whatever, I don't even know what that is. But this is a huge milestone for the right to repair. One of the most visible opponents to repair access is reversing course. And Apple's move shows what the repair advocates have been asking, which was always possible.
I mean, if you know, be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
All right.
It's true. It's true.
I mean, to me, And again, I am just speaking for
There's going to be
myself.
a
And
long agreement you're going to have to agree to, which, by the way, when that agreement comes out, we definitely have to read that on the air
yeah,
because you need to know what you're repairing because I guarantee you, you're going to be responsible for a lot of things when you mess up your phone,
well,
especially like a battery repair on an iPhone. That is not easy to do.
yeah,
And not to mention with the 13, you need a special apparatus to take it off because it's so strong that at Apple stores you have to put it under a hot lamp for like a minute just to loosen the display up. So think of the amount of money you have to spend on parts
hmm
alone just to get it here. Or not parts, tools, just to get
yeah.
it here.
I mean, you know,
You know what
I
they're
don't know.
doing? They are responding to the government who is probably going to allow right repair to happen, and Apple is just beating it.
Well,
And and that way you could say, hey, we're offering the options for them to have that. I don't know about the parts. Do they have to return them? I don't know. I'm assuming they like something like for the iPhone 13, they're gonna have to return a big heating apparatus that heats it up, or are they just gonna tell you to use your hair dryer? I don't know. That's not an Apple way of doing things. My assumption is that you're going to return most of the tools.
well, like you said, this contract is the details are going to come out, and then
Right.
people are going to start complaining that they have to follow these rules.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
you know, that it's another example, in my opinion. They want to do it all, but they don't want to take accountability. If you want to repair a product that carries the Apple brand, you have to adhere to certain standards because that brand stands for something.
Hmm.
Okay. And if you don't want to adhere to their rules and regulations, then go buy an Android.
Right.
I mean, to me, in my world, it's just that simple. You
All
know,
right. There you go. That's the Frank Funk opinion, man. He had his black coffee today, so he's on fire. In case you didn't notice today. Now, here to sum this up, the question is: do you think that this is a good thing or a bad thing? Straight up.
well, for who? I think it's going to be
Hey, it's a great PR move. Look at Apple
yes,
stock today.
yep,
It jumped up like crazy
yep.
because of this announcement. Good
Um,
for me. Good for us.
I think for Apple in the short term, it's going to be a good thing. And I say the short term only because, like you said, it's going to give them good PR. I think in the long term, they're going to have a lot of headaches from people that say, "Well, I took this to so and so. They're certified. Now it's worse than it was. Now what do I do?"
Right.
Now, how does the Apple Store deal with that? Or not only the Apple Store, but Apple corporate?
Isn't it great that I'm not working there anymore when this is happening? That's what we talked about. We had a group chat today, and all of us said, including Chris Ville, who was here on our last show, thank God we don't work there anymore because now we don't have to deal with that.
Well, but don't you think that opens the door for that?
Of course it does. I mean, honestly, you know what the rules are? Apple should tell them that they have to put a special shirt on that is an Apple shirt for them to do the repair in. You have to take a picture of yourself doing it. You know,
Well, when we
and you have
worked
to
at Quaker
smile.
Bridge, there was that guy that had that business. I think he was somewhere in Princeton,
Computer tutor Ted, baby.
and he would come in. He would charge a customer, bring the machine into Apple, pay for the repair,
Right.
right, and then charge the customer. And he did nothing but bring the machine into Apple.
You got it. That's a smart businessman, everybody.
So
Shady,
so he
but
didn't
a
have to
smart
buy
businessman.
he didn't have to buy any tools. He didn't have to sign any contract.
That's right.
And yet,
Well, he did sign a contract, definitely, with Apple.
well, but still, he didn't have to buy any special tools. He would just bring it into the Apple store and
Right.
tell his customer, that, oh, it's going to take 7 to 10 days or 14 days, whatever it would take. When it comes in, he would come in, pick it up, take it back to the customer. There you go.
You know, one thing about these repairs too, and this is a point that again Louis Grossman made, that if you have to get your keyboard fixed all by itself, you have to get the whole top case done. At least on older Macs.
Right.
That's a little annoying. I could absolutely see why am I paying $300 for a top case when it's a $60 keyboard part, And that's the argument that he made, which is
Mhm.
true. I think Apple charges a lot for their stuff because they don't let you just take the display part. If the bulb burned out inside the display, why can't you just take the bulb out and not the whole? Why do you have to do the whole display? If there's nothing wrong with the hinge, or why would I have to do that? That's the point he's trying to make. Now,
Well,
Apple's
because
not.
sometimes when rather than chasing an electrical problem, okay, say, oh, I think it's this, and so you replace that, and then that works for maybe 2 weeks or whatever, and then something else goes wrong. Now you're back. Then you fix that, and then this, and then so on and so forth. Why not just? I believe Apple's point of view was, hey, this is a sign that things are going to start happening down the line. Replace the whole thing. Boom. Wash your hands. Here you go. Have a good day.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fast. It's easier.
I think
now,
they're
does
gonna.
it cost a little more? Yeah, but
Yeah. I think with the Mac, like for example, I think on the Mac they're gonna let people change what I think is what they're gonna do is the battery, the display, and I think like the one port on some of the ports are not connected to the logic board. I think they'll be changed, and that's really it. I don't think they're gonna let them do everything. I don't think they're gonna let them do a logic board repair. It's funny the fan. Well, that's part of the display, so I would say that's display. So, I mean, the teardown of the 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pro is pretty good. It's very old school. It's back to like the old school way. In fact, the fans are like the last part before the top case, so it takes a little bit more work to get to the fans. But my point is that I think they're going to let people do some things. iMac, I don't know. That one's going to be a little strange if they're going to let people do that.
well, you got to take the front display off, right?
Which is a VHB, which is really, I mean, the wheel thing will cut that out pretty easily. So, but again, you could break your display if you don't do it correctly. So, I'm very curious, but I think that the only reason they're doing this is because I think Congress at some point will pass this repair, and then your PlayStation, your Xbox, any electronic product that you own is going to be allowed to be repairable, and they're going to force people to sell the parts for it. I think Apple was just beating them to the punch, and that Apple made the first stance against on the right to repair because in Europe they're already like at the point of legislation. It was just going to happen. They were going to be forced to do it. So Apple, instead of Apple being forced to do it, they just did it themselves.
Well,
And
I think this kind of reminds me of when the phone company was one unit. Then they broke that up, and now you don't know who, or you didn't know who I had to talk to because you had all these little components. And this is kind of the same thing, in my opinion. It's just stay out of it. You don't need to do anything.
Just get Apple Care and go to the store and do it. That's the bottom line.
If people want to buy an Apple product, then they buy into the whole philosophy.
Well, that philosophy's changed, sir. The philosophy's changed now, whether you like it or not.
Yep.
But like I said, this is not for everybody. This is a very small niche market. This is for the people who want to go do the repair themselves, especially if it's one that they don't need to wait for an Apple part to come to the store, drop off if they know somebody that could do it for them, great. But I can tell you right now, if I did a repair for somebody's phone, you bet your ass you're signing some kind of an agreement before I touch that phone. And that way you can't go after me. Even if your friend, that's why I probably won't even do the repairs because it's just too risky to do. Anyway, that's our episode this week. We had a lot to cover in this 1 week, but this was an exciting
pretty
story.
Heated topic, huh?
Yeah, it is a heated topic. It is, but it's a great topic. It was a great thing to talk about for this week. We're getting ready for the holidays. You getting ready for Thanksgiving, Frank?
Yeah, we think we may be heading to Florida for a bit. So,
and he doesn't take us with us. How unfair!
We'll take Luke.
Oh, that's fine. I don't know if my wife will let you take him, but
I don't think so.
Me on the other hand, be like, yeah, go ahead, I can FaceTime him. He's fine. So, but yeah, it's obviously next week is going to be Black Friday, Thanksgiving. We're likely not going to be doing an episode next week, so we want you guys to enjoy the holidays, enjoy Thanksgiving, enjoy Black Friday. on our YouTube channel, I do plan when Apple reveals their discounts, just like I did last year, I'm probably going to come up here on solo on our YouTube just to see what they came out with and discuss what the discounts are and if I think they're good or not. So, and I'll probably compare them to other discounts that are out there. So, exciting stuff for the world. I can't wait to get all my new Apple crap. Apple, you're welcome. I spent almost $6,000 on you today. So
there you go, man.
There you go. And in response, the
Merry Christmas to me.
Merry Christmas to me. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Have a great Black Friday. We will see you in 2 weeks. And take care. And I love every single one of you.